ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Hunter and the Beast. It is finally here, and I can finally play against people. You don't know how satisfying that is. It's literally been ages since I could actually play against somebody because I've had no one to play with in the early access, of course, but now I've got everyone to play against, so I've, loads more gameplay videos coming out. Anyway, we're playing Lizardmen versus the Huntsman, of course. We are rocking Gorok the White Lizard here. Of course, Gorok has got many abilities. A very, very tanky lord. A very, very cool lord, in my opinion. Actually, one of my favourite lords to come out in a while, actually. I don't know why. Just something about his lore, just being this, really tanky, amazing Saurus that just never retreats from battle. Really, really cool. But basically, he has an ability called Shield of Eons, or Aeons, one of those two, which gives plus 60 armour and expert charge defense. Now, you may be thinking, why are you showing me this? Well, basically, it does that into an area around him. So I went with a very, very light front line of just skinks, okay? Now, skinks, pretty fucking shit usually. But the plan is that I basically, put this with the Shield of Aeons, and basically it's going to bump them up to 90 armor, which, that's pretty much Temple Guard level. So you're going to have a skink unit that costs like 300, credits, up to 90 armor, the equivalent to Temple Guard. And Red Crested Skinks, they have AP as well with those giant maces, so, you're going to be having a Temple Guard unit equivalent almost in the front line when paired with Gorok the White Lizard, which is really, really nice. Also, I've got two Feral Cold Ones on the left flank here. They were just to get into the back line. I've also got a Skink Priest on a Engine of the Gods here. The reason I brought the Engine of the Gods is that I thought, do you know what? If the Engine of the Gods can actually shoot down with the burning alignment, it actually can do a lot of damage. But I've got Summon Manticore and Flock of Doom in the back here as well. I haven't used any of these abilities. By the way, neither of us have used, I'm playing against Monkeybot here, neither of us have actually played this DLC properly yet, actually, tested out units or anything like that, so I have no idea how good these, things are, but basically, I've taken the Amaxion Hunters, which is the raised on hunting pack with the poison and the missile resistance, and I've also got the Umbral Tide here. I wanted to try and, see how these units sort of compare to each other. Also got a Vivification Crystal here. I basically wanted to keep Gorok alive at all costs and make him like a really tanky ass lord in case Marcus does some serious damage on him. Also got some Rippledactyls here. But moving on to my opponent, he is of course playing the Huntsman, a very Huntsman themed army here. Marcus Wolfheart here, an extremely powerful lord. Like, this guy is no fucking joke. They, CA have really made this this guy live up to his lore of a monster slayer. But basically, this focus shot ability that he has here, you've basically got to let a unit take a little bit of damage first, but after that, you can basically kill it really well, and you'll see how that plays out in this match. But in the front line here, he's got Swordsman. Pretty generic. They'll probably, trade quite cost efficiently against Skinks. Red Crested Skinks, though, I think will win that matchup. But behind them, he's got Halberds, which are going to be the main brunt of his army, basically dealing with any scary monsters with that AP, of course, and pretty much, to attack Temple Guard as well. He's got some Huntsmen, though. He also does have the White Wolves here. White Wolves are a very, very good unit. Immune to psychology, so of course won't be affected by fear or terror, and encouragement for nearby units, so very, very good if his lord dies. He also has the Grey Wizard here. He has Polungal Pendulum, I believe, and he also has the Withering, both, very good standard abilities for that Grey Wizard. But in the back here, he does actually have the Black Lions. Now, the Black Lions were obviously a new unit added in this update. They are a very, very interesting, unique unit. A Hellblaster Volley Gun did get a bit of a buff in this update as well, but actually putting them in a little trolley with wheels, really, makes them good. Because the problem with Hellblaster Volley Guns is that they never were able to get their shots off fully before the enemy get in. They never could get their money's worth. But on a carriage, they actually can. Now, he's also got two normal war wagons. Now, I will say, in this gameplay, this was our first time using these new units, and as you can see, we might not be able to use them effectively. But anyway, let's get right into this. So, basically, my plan was to start with, I was sending some Feral Cold Ones around here on the left flank, and now, basically, I was thinking, okay, if I can get, round the side here, if I can get, into his back line and get on those Huntsmen with these Feral Cold Ones, I might be able to do some actual decent damage. Unfortunately, though, he does see this, and he does have some Halberds on the side here. Also, he does have some Spearmen in the back here, which I do believe he moves back at one point to watch his rear, which is very, very smart. But this is a perfect example, though, of a situation where he should have been using his war wagons. He should have sent one of these war wagons over there to try and deal with those Feral Cold Ones. But the thing is, the Feral Cold Ones and my Rippledactyls over there, I basically picked them to exactly deal with these war wagons, as well with the Umbral Tide and the Amaxion Barbs. I wanted to use these to deal with war wagons, because war wagons have 90 armor, so they're very, very tanky units. But, of course, with the Amaxion Barbs and the Umbral Tide, and the Rippledactyl, well, yeah, you get what I'm saying. Basically, they were my way of dealing with them. But unfortunately, we do have a little bit of skirmishing going on here. The Huntsman was started shooting into my Umbral Tide, and with that anti-large missiles, you know, that does so much damage to these units. These guys, I mean, look how much health starts to drop off these guys. It is ridiculous. Like, they're already almost down to a quarter, you know, well, down a quarter health. So it was really doing some damage. Of course, we do have a bit of return fire here, doing some nice little bit of early damage to some swordsmen, but they are shielded, but I don't think that makes a difference. The attacks on barbs over here, I was sort of looking for an opportunity, but these guys actually do have missile resistance, so maybe these guys might be a little bit better for dealing with a lot of the Huntsman stuff. But basically, he does send his spearmen into the forest here. Very smart, of course, to deal with the feral cold riders coming around the back. God, it's been a while since I've done a replay. But we're basically just lining up here. I'm just out of range of some of his stuff, except for Marcus Wolfhart, who I do believe was shooting into the Revivification Crystal, which is quite a smart move. You want to get that unit down as quickly as possible. But we do. At the first engagement coming in here, we are basically about to go for our frontline charge. I was sending in, of course, all my units. Luckily, his White Wolves and his Huntsmen were sort of shooting into my Skinks, which is actually really good for me because these guys are shielded, so they're going to be able to shield a lot of those arrow shots coming in here. I'm sending in the Rippledactyls now, though. I've got the Feral Cold Ones in the right position. Basically, it's all going off now. I'm completely surrounded him, and we were going in for a full frontline charge here. Unfortunately, I did forget to pop the Cohort of Sotek's ability. You know, that's how fucking stupid I am. The Refuse to Die ability, I completely forgot to buff that, but we do have the frontline engagement coming in here. Swordsman versus Skinks. It's quite an even trade, to be honest, but I mean, with Red Crested Skinks mixed in there, they actually will win that matchup, which will be very nice for me. We do have a alignment coming down here, which my opponent does just miss it. I do get a little bit of damage here. Do of course pull my Rippledactyls out there. We do get some nice damage on these halberds as well. Of course, halberds don't have any shields or any missile resistance, so the Umbral Tide can just go ham onto these halberds with the Amaxon barbs, doing some serious nice damage. But basically, I saw Marcus was doing a lot of damage. He does cast Hunter's Snare on my Vivification Crystal. But basically, luckily he was sort of in a bad position here, because my Rippledactyls I was sent on to Marcus. Marcus has no mass, but stupidly they get caught on the Hunter's Snare as well. I do summon my first Manticore here. We've got the Red Crested Skinks getting in there as well, trying to get on that Grey Wizard. Over here on our left flank as well, it's not going too badly. A lot of micromanagement was happening around here at the same time. And basically, as you can see here, this is where my opponent's first mistake was, and this was the War Wagons. Now, these War Wagons shouldn't be just standing here stable. They shouldn't be just sitting here and taking all this damage. I mean, they should be charging through my, my front line here, dealing with these Skinks. They should probably be over here, because Skinks have very little armor, so these War Wagons would be doing perfect. So they should have been on this flank here, charging through and doing an extreme amount of damage to my units here, but he didn't do that. Instead, I got a great opportunity here, and the Umbral Tide and the Amaxon Bars were doing some serious, nice damage to these War Wagons. I mean, together, they're poisoned, and these guys with their bonus large attacks are doing some serious, nice damage to these War Wagons. I do send the Skink Priest on the Engine of the Gods into some halberds, which was pretty fucking stupid if you ask me, but I got some Feral Cold Ones in there as well on the Huntsman, so it was a bit of a trade for me. And we do summon a Manticore here. I do send it down to help. I do believe I sent it onto the Swordsman. Yeah, I do send it onto the Swordsman. I realised that some Huntsmen were usually tied up, so I didn't want to sort of pressure it here. But these Rippledactyls here coming out and helping on this left flank, because I noticed that the Red Crested Skinks were sort of losing over here, so I wanted to help out and deal with these Huntsmen, so I set the Rippledactyls on them. But over here, Gorok the White Lizard is hungry and is chasing down Marcus Wolfhart. Now, Marcus Wolfhart actually is faster than Gorok the White Lizard, and I really should have checked this out, because I selected it and I thought, you know what, it'll be absolutely fine, nothing's going to go wrong here. But unfortunately, he doesn't catch up. A Flock of Doom does go down here. I saw a big blob of units, so I thought I'd use it here. I do send my Rippledactyls on a bit of a better unit here, which is the Grey Wizard, which is very nice. But he does have some spearmen coming out of the forest and ready to attack. But luckily, okay, if you're ever worried about dealing with War Wagons, just bring the Umbral Tide and the Amaxon Barbs. These guys are a great duo when dealing with, I mean, look at that poison combined with the Umbral Tide. It is just doing some serious nice damage. And of course, these guys have missile resistance, so the skirmish fire here isn't going to be doing enough. We've got another alignment of the gods coming down here, pretty much, and doing a bit more damage this time. Doing a lot more damage to these halberds and to these white wolves here, but they are shooting into my Skink Priests of Beast, which is really, really bad. But I luckily do get some Skinks in there. And these guys don't have much armor, so basically Skinks will trade very cost efficient against them. I do start sending the Umbral Tide onto the Grey Wizard, and we do get a nice amount of damage to the Grey Wizard, almost fully routed. As you can see, Gorok here, this is probably one of my biggest faults of the game. Sending Gorok here on Marcus Wolfhart was a stupid idea. I mean, yes, he is, sort of distracting Marcus here, but Marcus has fire while shooting. And even though I've got that shield, Marcus is still going to do a shit ton of damage to me. So, not the smartest decision here. But basically, as you can see, balance of power is on my favourite, which is really, really nice here. I do summon my second Manticore here, and I am sending them into the White Wolves. But the White Wolves are a bit of a hybrid unit. They are actually quite good at sort of dealing in combat as well. So, probably not the best unit to send them against. But, you know, you have to make do. We do have some Red Crested Skinks coming back in, attacking some Huntsmen here. You know, yet again, they have AP, but these guys don't have much armor, so not an amazing thing going on there. But, yet again, so basically, as you can see, I don't really have, you know, a lot deal. My Skinks have basically faltered at this point. I still have the Skink Priest of Beasts and the Revivification Crystal, so I am sort of healing up units as I go here. I've still got the Amaxon Barbs, I've still got the Umbral Tide, but the Umbral Tide are now out of ammunition, so now I'm going to have to make dues, and I don't want to send them into any halberds, so, oh, excuse me, so I've got to be very, very careful here. But over here, disaster is striking, so Marcus Wolfheart does use Hunter's Snare here, and he does start to shoot into Gorok, and Gorok is getting insanely low at this point, and I was getting really worried. He just has some Spearmen coming in, and basically at this point I was like, fuck, you know, I do pop Cold Blood to try and give him some leadership buffs here, and he is fighting against Spearmen now, and some Halberds, and is on the verge of routing here, so, you know, I was very, very worried. I was bringing in my Skink Priest over here with the Revivification Crystal to try and get him, but Marcus here is about to end this Stegodon's career. Using his True Shot ability, shooting that Stegodon does an insane amount of damage, still shooting at it, doing so much damage. Another one going off, the Amber Bow shot going off here, and that literally just ends my Stegodon there, which is just insane. It's a True Shot ability, isn't it? Focus Shot. Why do I keep saying True Shot? Focus the shot ability here. And he kills my Stegodon. So literally, I was gobsmacked at this point. The balance of power shifts hugely into my opponent's favour here. And Gorok, unfortunately, is pretty much on the verge here. Luckily, he doesn't rout off, though. He does rally here just at the last second, which I have no idea how that happens. I am sending the Revivification Crystal on to Marcus Wolfheart, which is probably the worst decision you could probably do. I was trying to tie him down in combat, but Marcus, yet again, was just sort of, you know, fire while shooting on me, which is really annoying. Of course, my opponent did have his Halberds and Spearmen coming back in. Unfortunately, over here, I had pretty much lost the fight. I did have some Feral Cold ones coming back in with some Skinks, but it's not really enough. There's, you know, a lot of Halberds still here. A lot of White Wolves still alive as well. I do have the Umbral Tide coming back in, but yet again, no ammunition. Some Feral Cold ones as well. And at this point, the Revivification Crystal goes off. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm fucked. Basically, the only way I can win this is if I get, you know, possibly Gorok the White Lizard on Marcus Wolfheart, but my opponent obviously saw this, you know, coming and sends the Halberds directly onto Gorok the White Lizard. And of course, Gorok does have a little bit of mass with him, but basically, yet again, the same problem as before. Marcus is too fast for me and is running away. But I do have some Umbral Tide coming in to helping me out here. But unfortunately, Gorok does get tied in here. Another shot from Marcus pretty much almost kills Gorok the White Lizard here. And Gorok does rout off, and that does lead to the Umbral Tide routing off it as well. But very well played to MonkeyBot. A really, really fun game, man. I really enjoyed it. Of course, this was the first of many. You see, the thing is, I dealt, you know, if we just go over here, you can just have a quick look for those of you that want to have a look. As you can see, his war wagons did fuck all. You know, they got 2, 3, and, you know, the Black Lions, I can understand that did a lot more damage because, you know, Skink against Skinks is going to do a lot of damage. But, as I say, like, you know, the Umbral Tide, I actually really like the Umbral Tide and the Amaxon Barbs together. They shut down the war wagons so, so well. But the Skinks, of course, that's what you sacrifice for going a bit wider in this. Maybe what I might do is switch out for some Saurus in the front line, because I think maybe Red Crested Skinks, but again, unfortunately, with this Huntsman update, you've got a lot of archers, you know, coming in. Of course, you know, they don't need a lot of armor piercing to kill Skinks, so it does a lot of damage. My Skink Priest, though, that died so quickly, and I think I could have used the Revivification Crystal a little bit better. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Loads more gameplays to come, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.